more layoffs. Let's talk about it.
So I got laid off today. Just something I've never experienced in my 32 years of life. I have always had a job. I think I'm still in shock. And I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do next. Which is a really weird but good feeling.
As a guy who's been laid off before, I can resonate with that big time. Big time. Because I remember clear as day, walking into my job, I get a phone call from the president of the company. He's never called me on the phone before. And this was probably, how long ago was this? Well, my daughter's 5, so it would have been about 5 years ago. And I got the phone call. I was like, hey, JJ, I need you to come up to my office. I was one of their newest hires. I was with the company a little over a year. I go up there. I see HR in there with them. I'm like, yep, I know it's coming. Sat down. Basically got told, hey, company's going through some financial issues. You've officially been let go. Thanksgiving's about a week away. Christmas, 4 or 5 weeks away. Here I am, having to call my wife, my pregnant wife at that, and let her know that I've officially lost my job. Now, was I nervous as shit? Yes, I was. I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I got this new baby coming in. You have the whole pressure of your family on your back, and I had to buckle down and get with it. And I had to figure out what I was going to do next. And that same day, I was already making phone calls. But the moral of the story is, this could happen to any of you out there. Any of you. And if it happens, are you prepared?
I'm getting laid off today for the first time in my life. So that's a fun, new and exciting thing. No, I'm sad about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend. It really sucks. I knew it was coming. I didn't know it was coming for me. I knew layoffs were coming, but I didn't know they were coming for me. I've been at my job almost 7 years, and I love it. I love my team. I love what I do. I'm good at what I do, all of the things, But it happens. It's happening to me. I literally told my parents, and they're like, oh, layoffs happen. I've been laid off this many times. This many times, you'll be fine. I'm like, that doesn't help me. That doesn't help. What does that have to do with anything? I mean, I get it, but I'm just in that space where I'm like, everything sucks. I have a afternoon meeting with HR on a Friday. Obviously, I'm getting laid off. That's what it is. So we will see, but I'm pretty sure that I'm getting that paper today.
Oh, that is the worst feeling. That's the worst feeling, but I'll say this. If you do get laid off, or you've recently been laid off, I think the biggest crazy thought, concern is, what the heck am I going to do next? You had your whole life in this job, and then one day you wake up and it's gone. And that's hard to wrap your head around. I mean, let's be real for a second. Layoffs are becoming way too common. One day you're grinding it out at your 9 to 5, and the next you're handed a box and you've been told your position has been eliminated. I've seen too many people, and I'm talking smart, hardworking people, get let go without warning. And with AI and automation moving fast, job security is just not what it used to be. That's why I want to tell you guys about something that actually helps. Tripleton is an online tech bootcamp that helps people switch careers and get into stable, high-paying fields. No tech background required. 82% of their grads get hired within 6 months of finishing the program. And if you don't get hired within 10 months, they'll give you your money back. Seriously. What I really love is that Tripleton doesn't just teach you how to code. They've got programs for other in-demand tech careers, and they actually partner with real companies so you get real-world project experience. And if you're not sure about coding, they have non-coding programs too, like user experience and user interface design. So if you're feeling stuck, burned out, or you just want a job that's future-proof and remote-friendly, check out Tripleton. You can start learning for as low as $200 a month. You guys can use the link in my description or scan the QR code here on the screen to book a free career consultation and see if it's right for you.
If you guys thought that the job market was cooked before, just realize that in the last 100 days, 300,000 Americans have lost their jobs. That is larger than the population of Pittsburgh. Now imagine the entire population of Pittsburgh looking for work simultaneously. UPS, Intel, Amazon, the federal government have announced massive layoffs across the board. Like I said, it's not just the private sector. One of the biggest things affecting this is 121,000 federal employees losing their job over the last 100 days. And because of the tariffs, they're saying that over the next few months, literally millions of workers could be losing their jobs. That's truck drivers, port workers, warehouse workers, import-export agents. And for anybody who has been looking for a job over the last couple of years, they will tell you that it is incredibly difficult right now to find any sort of meaningful work, especially in the field in which you studied. But it is only going to get more difficult because as millions, potentially millions of newly unemployed Americans hit the job market at the same time as AI is replacing people, it is going to be almost impossible. And let me tell you, one of the biggest factors is going to be those 121,000 and climbing federal employees who have been laid off because they are typically highly trained, highly skilled, highly educated. They've got like PhDs, they've got master's degrees. These people, and they're not going to just be looking in their field, guys. Let me tell you, in 2009, when the financial collapse hit, people switched jobs all over but they switched careers like crazy. Dude, I was working in a restaurant and there were people with master's degrees coming in to serve tables. People will become real estate agents. People will become teachers. Anything that they can do to survive. So if you think that your job is going to be okay, you're going to be just fine, let me tell you right now, it is going to get incredibly competitive. And if you've already been having a hard time finding work, it's going to be almost impossible. Everybody needs to start working on their networking again and working on their side hustles. So networking is going to be one of the big things. Start reconnecting with people that you knew from high school, people that you knew from previous jobs. Start, chatting with them again because when time comes, that is going to be one of the biggest things. If there are jobs out there, knowing somebody in the business, knowing somebody that can recommend you is going to be invaluable. So make sure you guys are networking like crazy. And then your side hustles. If you work in an office or something, go start picking up shifts at a restaurant. If you've never served tables before, learn because it is one of those things that you can fall back on if you absolutely need to. You need to have something where if you cannot find a job for months, you're able to somehow support yourself. Whether that be DoorDash, go start DoorDashing, go start doing Spark Driver on the weekends because I'm telling you, the layoffs are coming. The economy is about to crash. And if I lived through the 2009 recession, I know that working your side hustles, whether it be 2, 3, 4 of them, is going to be incredibly important. And again, nothing beats networking. For young people, honestly, consider moving back in with your parents. Start moving in with roommates. Start doing anything you can to survive. Dude, there's people that are going to start moving into storage units. I promise you that. We're going to start seeing an epidemic of people moving into storage units because it's just going to get that bad. But realistically, move back in with your parents. Start saving money. The worst is coming, guys. I want everybody to realize that, and everybody needs to start preparing for it.
I mean, guys, this is what I've been preaching on my channel for quite some time now. Is like, hey, if a recession comes and we have a huge increase in unemployment like we're starting to see now, the best thing you guys can do is start preparing before it happens. And like I like what he said too about the networking aspect because, guys, networking is huge. Like if you can just hold on the conversation and get out and go meet people, you would be shocked at how much that can improve your professional life. You never know who you're going to shake hands with that's going to lead to an actual business type relationship. It really does. The power of networking is real. And if you don't know how to network, I'd recommend just going out to a meetup somewhere and just practice. Just practice. Make small talk. Talk about yourself a little bit, but really lean in on letting people talk about themselves. Think about typical 5 questions to ask people, right? Go in like, oh, where are you from? What do you do for work? Do you have any kids? Stuff like that. Build a personal relationship with people, and then you never know where that's going to lead. Networking is truly powerful. Now, here is a look at our current unemployment rate. So on a federal level across the United States, our current unemployment rate is sitting at 4.2%. Now, that's been a pretty flat line for the past, let's say 6 months to a year, about a year or so. Back in June of 24, we were sitting at 4.1%. So we've been pretty steady moving forward. I'll say this. April's almost over, so unemployment numbers for April will come out in May. That's a number I'm really going to watch. If we see a big spike, which I'll say this, and we're going to hear this today. With the amount of layoffs we've seen federally from UPS, from other tech companies, with Intel being a massive one, announcing they're going to be laying off thousands, tens of thousands of employees, it's almost hard to say, like, how is unemployment not going to spike? And that's the one number, that's the one data point that I've really been watching closely. If unemployment starts rising, that's where I'm going to get a little nervous. That's where I'm going to start to say, okay, really, we may be in some tough times ahead. That's why it's so important to start planning now, guys, to really start attacking your debt, to really start building up an emergency fund. That's probably the most single-handedly, just most important thing you could do, because let's think about this. He mentioned 08 and 09, right? Back in 08 and 09, people were going 6 to 12 months before they even found another job. Could you last 6 to 12 months without having any income? Probably not. Most people can't. That's why it's so important, guys, to have an emergency fund set in place for the worst times. If you think you can find a job within 6 months, then I would work on building up 6 months of reserves that you can live off of, and also decrease your lifestyle if that does happen. Because if we are in for rough times ahead, you want to go into rough times being prepared, right? Like, for example, like I like running. I've ran a marathon. I prepared my body for a marathon. I trained almost every single day for 3 months leading up to this marathon. I prepared. Now, if I would have just signed up one day and showed up the next morning for the race and did not prepare for that marathon, I would not have been able to navigate that race nearly as well as I did from me preparing for it. Same thing applies to your money, guys. If we're heading for tough times in a major recession, be prepared. If you get laid off, be able to get through that crappy time and manage that correctly.
My role got pretty rocked this week because I got laid off from my corporate job after working there for nearly 6 years. So I wanted to tell you some of the story because it's kind of ironic, but also I just want to share how I'm feeling about everything and what's next. My team was terminated due to budget cuts on April Fool's Day. At the time, several other projects were being terminated as well, and in all of that chaos, apparently ours was accidentally terminated. So 15 minutes later, we were reinstated while the project figured out what they wanted to do. Talk about a sick joke. All we were told is to just keep working as best we could, and then more information will be coming as soon as possible. Flash forward to this week, the project did ultimately decide to terminate, and since there wasn't another project for me to hop onto, my role was terminated as well. I'm obviously bummed about losing my job. I loved my teammates and I loved my manager, and I really did value the work that we were doing. But aside from the initial shock and disappointment, really I'm just very grateful for this community that I built online, and honestly humbled by the sheer number of people who are either going through this right now or have dealt with a layoff in the past. I feel very privileged to have my social media career and my community, so it's hard for me to feel bad for myself when I know that there are so many people out there, including people I work directly with, who are going through it much worse than I am. I truly believe that this is forcing me to step out of my comfort zone and look at new opportunities that I absolutely would not have looked at if I wasn't in this situation. As for what's next, to be honest, I'm not fully sure yet, but what I do know is that I'm gonna be fine, and I'm definitely gonna keep documenting my journey with you all. And hey, maybe I'll finally have time to write that novel I've been teasing for so long. I do want to thank all of you for the love and support over the years, and especially those who went out of their way to send me a kind and encouraging comment or DM yesterday. I've always said that my little corner of the internet is the most kind and supportive out there. And right now, I'm choosing to find the silver lining and make the most out of a not so great situation. So strap in, folks, and follow along because there is a lot more coming. Love you. Bye.
Now, I will say this, guys, real quick. That is the power of the time of life that we're living in, right? Social media. When I search for layoff videos, if you just go to TikTok right now and you search layoff, you're going to see 1 day ago, 20 hours ago, 10 hours ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. There's so many people getting laid off right now that are posting about it on social media. Now, the power where social media comes into play is you can document your journey. Now listen, I get it. Social media is not for everybody. Not everybody wants to post their life on social media. I get it. Trust me. But especially in a time frame like we're in right now, having some sort of side hustle is key. Especially with how expensive everyday life is. Having a side hustle can save you. Because what I mean by this with the social media aspect is you can make money on social media. Now it takes time, it takes effort. You got to know what you want to talk about. You got to be consistent. It's not easy. It is hard, but it can happen. People can make a little extra money from social media. Now, we're not talking, $100,000 months where you see all these people talk about, but like people are making legit income. We're talking an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month from online social media presence. Now, yes, maybe social media is not for you, but the point I'm making here is the power of a side hustle. Like if you do get laid off and you have been working your side hustle and you've been funding that money to fund your emergency fund or to fund investments or whatever you're choosing to do with that income, what happens if you get laid off is it does give you a little bit of a cushion. It gives you a little bit more time to maybe work harder on the side hustle, try to earn extra income from it in order to get by until you can find your next full-time job. Side hustles are key, guys, especially in this time frame we're living in.
If I was worried I'd be laid off soon, here's everything I would start doing now to make sure I got my next job before that happened. Step 1, while you're employed, update everything. This means your resume, your LinkedIn, your creative portfolio if you have one, your website if you have one. Use the time that you have now whilst you're still getting a paycheck to do these things slowly but surely, because you don't want to wait until the time comes where you get a surprise email and your computer access is shut off from your employer with all of your accolades on your work computer, and you can't remember your metrics or you can't remember your accomplishments, your awards, etc. Build that stuff now while you have the time and while you're getting paid to do it. Take it from me, once the panic hits, you will be scrambling. I've been through this so many times and or preparing for it at a company that put us through the ringer so many times. So trust me when I say this is the golden ticket. I got you. Do not wait until the proverbial pink slip hits to try to panic update your entire career story and personal branding efforts. Like, it never works. You're always upset. You always forget things. Control everything you can now so you can move fast later. But move quietly. Move smart. Good luck.
Great advice, guys. Great advice. If you're sitting at your job right now and you're listening to this in your headphones, like maybe is the time to update the resume a little bit. If you haven't done that in a while you have your job, get prepared if you would get let go. Because here's the honest part, guys. Yes, I know there's no sense of loyalty anymore in today's age, which I hate. But understand that that company could let you go at any time. They don't have to give you a 2-week notice. They don't. They don't want you anymore. You can come up to HR's office and be like, hey, sorry, your time here is done. Peace, you're out of here. So be prepared. If you have any like special links or something that you know may transition to help you if you stay within that job field, save those on a personal computer. I did that. I have some different calculators and stuff that I used when I was back in construction that I would email to myself, and I saved it in my own personal database because I knew if I ever did get let go, I could use those calculators to my advantage whenever I take on a next job. So like tools like that too. It's not just the personal resume stuff. It's also tools that you have found throughout working your time at whatever career you're at. That's the time to save that stuff. So that way you have it if you do get let go and you do happen to find another job in the same field.
UPS is cutting 20,000 jobs and closing 73 facilities by June 2025. A seismic shift that could reshape the logistics industry. Announced alongside its first quarter earnings, the move aims to save $3.5 billion as UPS grapples with declining demand from major clients like Amazon, Temu, and Shein, and navigates the fallout from new tariffs under President Trump. Despite a slight dip in revenue to $21.5 billion, UPS beat profit expectations, signaling that this aggressive restructuring is about survival and long-term agility. CEO Carol Tomé says the company is adapting to a changing trade environment, but with financial guidance pulled for the year, the road ahead remains uncertain. UPS currently employs approximately 490,000 people and operates 5,647 locations across the United States.
Yikes. I mean, if that's not a sign that something bad's coming, or at least a sign that people are starting to pull back on spending, as well as the tariffs. having a huge effect on everything as well. It's crazy times we're living in, guys. If you are not nervous about the future and you haven't started preparing yourself yet for who knows what could happen, right now may be the time to do it. Think about this. Like, think about if you lost your job, right? Think about if you lost your job. Think about first just all the debt payments you have. Car loan, mortgage or rent, medical bills, credit card bills, your utility payments, gas to put in your car. Now you got groceries. Imagine trying to pay for all that without a job. Be prepared now, guys. Start planning now for a potential not so good coming up future. Because if we do get caught in a major recession, or God, I say it, a freaking depression, you don't want to be caught with your pants down.